Hey guys, this is Tom.
This is David.
And welcome to this episode of the TechMerge Podcast.
All right, guys. Glad you're here with us today on this episode of TechMerge. Apple strikes again. We're going to do some Adobe tips and tricks. We're going to have a bowl of tech soup, and we're going to take some viewer questions and on some of the latest news in this episode of TechMerge. We're glad that you guys have joined us today.
Yeah, we're so glad to be here. This is kind of a learning curve for us. We're just learning all of the technical aspects to make this happen. We've had a little bit of some issues this evening, and we're running just a little bit late, but it's exciting to be here with episode number 1. I'm Tom Mullins.
I'm David Bowling.
And we're excited to be here. So just to kind of give you a heads up as to why we're doing this, about 2013, I went to David and we had the domain TechMerge, and our focus was to really use it as a technical resource for church and nonprofits for technology resources and tools, services, and that sort of thing. And we decided, technically back then, we really couldn't do a podcast, but today we can because the technology has gotten a lot cheaper and a lot more accessible for each one of us. So we are now doing this podcast, and we're going to start doing it probably once a month right now, and hopefully we'll get into it a little longer as time goes on.
Yeah, we're glad that you guys joined us. We're going to be talking about a few things today. Again, we're going to get into some things that has happened with Apple. I recently developed an app, and it was not the easiest experience. But, we got it done for our church. And, there's just a few things we're going to cover. Again, what do you want to go through first, Tom?
Well, let's talk a little bit about your Apple experience because it was pretty interesting.
You want to put that over there for me so I can show them a preview of this real quick.
Sure.
So you can find the app online at FLWC in the App Store under iTunes. It's pretty convenient to find there. It's just right inside. I wish I showed you, pulled up. I could probably still pull it up, but I don't want to mess too many things up at this point. But I could probably go in and show you a preview of this app. It's available online. You can check it out. But some things that I want you to notice here is if you go to our website, and again, you can see it's at techmerge.net. And of course, I can't type because I'm under pressure here. I'm nervous behind the camera. Even though you can't see me at this point. But if you go to our blog and you go to some of our posts under, let's see here. Well, it's under here somewhere. I promise you. It's under our post. If you go in there, it's in there. But I have a blog post about my complete experiences with doing the app. I wrote the app originally when I was in the middle of making the app. I'd been denied by Apple 3 or 4 times. It was getting aggravating, and Tom, got to hear that expressed a few times. And basically, my first app was really generic. I mean, it was super generic. I didn't know what to do. I had built like 8-9 squares out. Each square took you to a different thing on our website. Sent it in to Apple. I thought it was the best thing ever. And they basically told me my child was ugly and they didn't want anything to do with it.
And you know what? Really, I thought the first version was probably better than what we ended up with.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool, but it just didn't do necessarily what I needed it to do.
Right.
So, or they wanted it to do. It didn't have enough layout pieces. It didn't have enough, just different things they denied me on. I was kind of upset about it. I was a little heartbroken, like saying my child's ugly. But eventually I got through. We ended up using a template from Code Canyon, I believe.
Yep.
And it was $24, and it's called Universal iOS. It's pretty easy to find on there. You can search it up. Gives you nice menu items. Lets you go in and put different pieces in there, mostly like web views and pieces from WordPress. You can pull in your Twitter feed, your
Facebook
feed. But Facebook is having issues right now because of the whole hack. They've kind of locked people out. You have to do that with a web view now, which is a little bit difficult, but it's not too bad if you get in there and play around. So you can do that there. Also, you can pull in your Twitter, your Instagram feed. That's a lot of the things we do. Automatically post our YouTube videos on there. They can get them right online. So it's pretty convenient. And again, the app, it's not been out very long, and we have probably 30 people that use it regularly. I've got push notifications built in. So we went and posted a video for Pastor Appreciation a couple weeks ago, and I was able to push a push notification out saying, hey, our video's up, go check it out. It's on the app, and it drew people back to the app, and it's going to be useful in the future when we do events through our church. So again, one of the things that helped me get through was they said that I had some issues in some of the coding. I'm not a code person. I don't know much. Tom knows probably more than I do about
I don't
code,
know about that, but I try.
Like older code, we'll say older code. Well, because Tom's old. But like one of the things that got me through was the fact that I said that I tested it on all my own devices and it didn't crash, which was true. I had it on my iPad, my iPhone, and then an older iPad. I put it on my wife's phone. I had sent it to Tom. Tom messed around with it, and he has an iPhone, whatever, 8, and no crashes. So that helped a lot. And the next time I sent it in, they accepted it. And also what helped was the last time that it failed, or the last time they denied me, they gave me the option to get a contact call. And I said, sure, call me. And so a guy from Apple called me 3 days later and said, hey, it looks good. You fixed some issues. Apple has some terms and conditions in there that you have to watch out for. Like if you can go on anything inside the app through a search bar, you have to rate it 17 plus. So it's odd that our church app's rated 17 plus, but it's rated 17 plus because somebody could go in there under YouTube and find inappropriate content compared to what you would expect in a church app. So it's one of those things you have to figure out how to deal with or kind of go with it, and that's where we're at.
Sure. So it was a pretty good experience. So what kind of costs did this, obviously the learning curve of learning the process and learning all of the information, but what was the total cost that we were looking at here?
Well, if you do it yourself, which is what we were at, I have a borrowed Mac, which is right here on the desk here, borrowed. Somebody let me borrow it. I have $24 in Universal iOS on Code Canyon, and we'll put a link up in the video later. I'll find it and put it in there for you. So we have that cost. And then Apple charges you to have a developer account. Developer account runs for $100 a year. It's good for a year, and it automatically resubscribes after that year. If you get your app up and it's one of those apps that doesn't need updated all the time, then you can go through and just put your app up and then delete your account, and your stuff should stay up there. But if it's one of those things you have to re-update and keep making changes to, you have to repay that $100 a year. So that's something to think about. Your church, if you go and have a company make an app for you, it's going to be upwards of $400 up front, and then they're going to have monthly subscription fees, but they're going to take care of everything for you. But again, it's the cost. We're all about being on a budget. Can you do it yourself? In this case, we could.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference. I mean, $25, $30 a month for the small church, the church that's got 100 members or less, that's quite a bit of money. I mean, that's a lot of different things that they could be using or doing for that amount of money. And if you could do it and do it more economical, that's an option. Plus, it was fun, right?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. A lot of extra time there put in there, but it was worth it.
Absolutely. So, would you do it again?
Yeah. I think so.
That's awesome. So what's coming up next?
All right, next we talked about Apple, being the great thing that it is and kind of hurting people's feelings occasionally. Next we're going to talk about a bowl of tech soup. You want to talk about tech soup for us?
So tech soup, as a church or nonprofit, one of the big things that comes up is technology costs. We were talking about app development. It costs a lot of money to develop an app. So just developing an app, cost money. But let's say you need computers. Let's say you need routers, switches, access points, all of those type of things. Software, Microsoft software, maybe QuickBooks, all of those different things. You can go to TechSoup and get those items at a significant discounted price. And I'm going to kind of take you through the process here. So you can go to the website. You can see there they're partnered with Adobe, Microsoft, Symantec, Intuit, Amazon Web Services, Google, Dell, Autodesk, Cisco, basically all of the big players in the tech industry. You go to TechSoup.org. That's their website. As you can see there, they also offer technical services, software as a service, as well as technical support and resources for your churches or your nonprofit. To go to the website, you just click on TechSoup.org. Go in. Here's kind of the catalog. It shows you some of the things that they have to offer. Symantec security. They say the average nonprofit saves about $14,000 a year by using TechSoup. Well, I don't know about a 100-member church. I don't think they would save $14,000 a year, but an organization like the one that I work for, my day job, we've saved thousands and thousands of dollars this year alone on purchases from TechSoup. You can see you can get Adobe at discounted prices. You can get Symantec security products at a discount price. I think it's like less than $10 a license for the corporate version of Symantec security. Which is pretty awesome, considering that's about $50 a license traditionally. Also, you can check out some of the different brands that they have. You see there a listing of all the different brands that they offer products from. Basically, what TechSoup does is they aggregate. They went out and they built the relationships with all of these different providers, and they say, hey, what can you offer us? What can you donate to us? And TechSoup basically just takes a small portion, and that's what you're paying for. The product itself is discounted or donated, but you're paying for the ease of use. Like that Cisco 2960 48-port PoE switch, it's like less than $600. That's significant. One of the great things about Cisco devices is they come with 5 years of SmartNet. If you don't know what SmartNet is basically Cisco's premium support. If anything happens to that device or you need help with configuring that device, anytime within that first 5 years, all you have to do is call Cisco up and they will support that product. Software updates, configuration assistance, all of that can be done right on Cisco's website. Also, Microsoft. Microsoft has some really awesome things. Let's say you're looking at desktops or Office, $20-some, $29, I think, for a license of Office. That's pretty cheap, considering a standard license of Office is several $100s. I think Windows 10, an upgrade for Windows 10 is less than $10 by just going to TechSoup. So how do you sign up for this? Well, it's pretty simple. You just go to the website, TechSoup.org, click on Join up on the right-hand corner, and we'll actually walk you through that process here in just a second. We're going to be taking a look at different things here on Microsoft's site for just a moment. Let's say you've got a lot of products that are not genuine, a lot of Microsoft Windows products that are not genuine. Maybe they were donated or whatever. There's an option to get genuine, meaning you get a full license of Microsoft Windows 10. And I think, what's that price, David? I think it's less than $10 there on the bottom. It showed it to you. So it's pretty darn good to kind of get yourself in compliance with Microsoft. Upgrade program for the OS. And the sky's the limit. TechSoup is the most awesome thing in the world. It's pretty awesome. I use it all the time. I highly recommend it. Check it out at TechSoup.org. Let's go to the, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't had any experience with TechSoup, have you?
Not much, no. I mean, just probably through things that you've helped, get going.
Yeah, I mean, QuickBooks, as an example, the nonprofit version of QuickBooks, which is great for churches. I think it's $40 or something. I don't know the exact numbers, and I don't want to quote them, but I think it was less than $50 for the full version of QuickBooks Pro. nonprofit version. It's pretty awesome. I mean, that's several $100s if you had to go out and purchase it. So this is a great way to save your church, your nonprofit, some money with using TechSoup at TechSoup.org.
Yeah, so check it out, TechSoup.org. All right, up next, we are going to do some Adobe tips and tricks, and this is pre-recorded content, as you can tell. But like, I'm a big Adobe guy. I love Adobe products, Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects. They're all in my wheelhouse, and I've done a lot of things with them over the last probably 5 years. I've been using Photoshop, I know, for 5 years, and then some other programs I've recently got into, like Premiere is just a great photo or video editing software. I was using Sony Vegas before, moved over to Premiere mostly for the cost. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the video explain for itself. It's going to show you how to sign up for Premiere if you want to. There's an awesome opportunity there to get it cheap, $20 a license, and it gives you everything. So again, check that out. And so here you go. If Tom wants to set up the source there for you, I'll go ahead and get it going here. Everybody's messaging me on my computer. Imagine that. All right, here you go. Oh, I know what it is. Start it over. Yep. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechMerge. Always putting videos up. All right, this is Dave Bowling from TechMerge.net. Again, thank you for joining me today. I'll be doing Adobe tips and tricks, and today we're going to be focusing on Photoshop, how to use a few tools to do some things that you might want to do for your church advertisement. So first of all, again, check out our website, TechMerge.net, for more information and other pieces of information that we're going to put out. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechMerge. Always putting videos up. We're going to do monthly videos on announcements with Church Tech. So again, today we're looking at Adobe Creative Cloud. If you do a quick Google search, you can find Adobe Creative Cloud, or go to adobe.com/Creative Cloud. With Adobe Creative Cloud, it is a cloud-based thing that you pay a monthly subscription for. Currently, the price is $49.99 per month, which is pretty steep. That's about $600 a year. But if you know someone that has a .edu, luckily I'm a teacher, and we have different students in our church, and we've used a .edu to get it for $20 a month, which helps a lot. And again, I think that's available for a year, I think, and that helps out with the cost. $20 a month gets you many of the Adobe programs. I use Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and then After Effects in a lot of the things I do with it. So, but let's not spend too much talking about that. If you want to check it out, it's right here at adobe.com/Creative Cloud, so you can give that a nice view if you like to. But let's go and jump in. This little poster here I made for my church. We're having a revival coming up, a district revival. Pastor Tommy Bates, and just being able to take the image and put it into a poster and using it on our website, using it on our, we have a TV out in our foyer that we put a lot of the announcements on now. It just helps promote it a lot better. And to make something like this, if you have an image that has a contrasting background, this is one of his images. I don't own the rights to it, but it's one of his promotional images. And if you have an image that has someone, Kim, in a contrasting background, you can see black on white, and then his hair contrasts and everything else contrasts. There's a few ways that we can take him out of this. The first way would be the erase tool. It's not very effective. You could turn it down real small if you want, change the size, and you can go the background around him. You can end up taking his arm out like I just did. You're definitely not going to get around all those hairs perfectly. You're not going to get in between the coat that great. It is useful, but it's like Microsoft Paint 2007 when I was in high school. We'd always sit around and do this to images. Not very effective. So looking at a different tool here on Photoshop, there's the lasso tool. It's the third one down on mine. Also, if you don't have the tools over here, you can hit View. Actually, just kidding. Where is it on here? Okay, it's under Windows,
and then tools. There it is, Windows and tools. You go to Windows and tools and it'll come up for you. But going to the lasso tool, you take and you lasso around the part you want to keep, and you just draw a consistent line around them. And again, you're not going to get perfect with this. If you could do it slower, you still wouldn't get perfect with it because it's all based on your ability to control your mouse. And it's not going to be pretty. But then you have to finish it out by drawing it to the other side. And then you can come in here and hit Control C or Command C, and then Control V or Command V, and you can use the Move tool, and you can make two of them here, okay? So I moved the background one, and there you have two of them. You can see there's images around the outside of his head. Still not very effective. Not the best option, okay? So let's go back to one last option here. As you can tell, I've only got him. There's only one layer here. And that option is the background erase tool. If you go to eraser, you click and hold. There is a background erase tool, which gives you this circle. And then the other option is magic erase tool. Magic erase tool, you come through and click, and it can take all this out at one time because it was contrasted enough. Pretty nice. It leaves you this over here. You can come in, get the eraser tool, and you can come in and clean that up. Or even better, come in and select the parts that you don't want, hit delete, and then you come in and clear that up that way. Okay? Let's go back and look at the other option here. Well, let's go back and put that back in there. I took me steps back. The other option in here is the magic erase tool. The background eraser tool. And it gives you a circle with a dot in the middle. Wherever the dot touches, it deletes, and whatever is contrasting that point enough, it'll save. So if I click here around his neck, you can see the images behind him are starting to delete. It's keeping his suit in this image. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to take images that are more similar in colors and take out that background. All right? It's effective. Really effective. But again, where it's contrast, I was able to just come in, I was able to take the magic background eraser and then delete it out. Fairly easy. Come in and clean it up some. And then I took it and laid it over this nice wood background, put in some titles, put in our church's logo over here, put in the address, and then you put the date, time, save it out as a PNG, and throw it up wherever I need to. Okay? Again, background tools, being able to delete that background out is very helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, again, get a hold of us on Facebook, and I'll again take you to our website, techmerge.net, Facebook.com/techmerge. Or you can find me on Facebook, David Bowling 14. That's Facebook.com/David Bowling 14. Again, I plan on doing these every once in a while. This is my first one. Try to keep them shorter, just straight to the point. This one's going to end up about 6 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. Sharing is caring. Share the video. And again, like us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. And a bunch of other places. So, yeah, thanks.
We'll upload it again. Looks like we're having some internet issues. Classic West Virginia in all aspects. We're in the middle of
downtown Charleston.
Basically the west side, but we're not going to say that. And we're dropping frames and everything else. But that was a basic tips and tricks. Again, I'll put that back online. It's how to delete a background out. It helps out a lot when you're doing some tips or doing some little bit of Photoshop work. It helps. You can do a lot of things with it in your church. Just being able to take something and put it in something else, like we did with Tommy Bates there, being able to take his image and put it over top of a small background and fire it up on our TV at church, use it for social media. It's just a great tool.
Yeah, it really does. Photoshop is such a great tool. And, I'm digging into it myself, and I've not really been much of a graphics person, but recently I spent a lot more time working with Photoshop and Premiere and really all the Adobe tools, which has really enlightened me to kind of learn. And David's kind of been pushing that, I think, a little bit to help me learn and spend a little bit more time. You know what? Something I want to say, this is a lot harder than it looks.
It definitely is. We have, if we had a camera that we could turn around and put in here, we have lights everywhere. We have a TV over here. That's why I'm always looking like this, because I'm checking to see if I'm like on the TV. And we have a cheat where we can see all our little screens ready. And we're trying to run 2 cameras, trying to talk. I give kudos to people who do this professionally. I'm more of a behind the scene guy, but this is getting me out of my shell a little bit. With that being said, we want to make sure you take the time to follow us online. Like we're up on YouTube. So if you want to find us on YouTube there, we're at TechMerge. We're going to re-upload this there. We couldn't upload this and do it on Facebook at the same time. And then, we are also on Facebook. So we're going to be live on Facebook. We're live on Facebook now, obviously. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, because we're both running at the same time, I think. I don't know. This technology is wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
So again, check us out. And it's going wild now. Cool. There we go. So we're on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. We'll be in a lot of places. So looking at some user comments, just now getting around to them. It's hard to do all this and pay attention. But we got some user comments. Somebody said 2 of the smartest guys I know. That'd be Richie or Anna. We appreciate that. We just do what we can. And it's still in that infinite loop.
Oh, we're going to get this technical stuff worked out sometime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What else is there? Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of catch up on some technology news. So a couple of weeks ago, NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters, met in Las Vegas. And man, there was a lot of cool product announcements. And one of those things is NDI, which is New Text Technology. It's a network video protocol that allows you to send video like what we're doing tonight from one computer to another, from a camera into the computer. So many different things that you can do with NDI. And I think in a future episode, we'll take a closer look at NDI and what it stands for, what you can use it for, and how it could help you produce content for your church or your nonprofit.
NDI was how we played Tom's video of going through TechSoup, and how I played my video of the Adobe tips and tricks. So it's just a cool tool that you can use, especially with their cameras that they're really pushing now, and it's pretty much practically zero lag over Wi-Fi, which is crazy.
Yeah, it really is crazy. And you can even do NDI over the internet. I was playing with it earlier this week over at my office, which is just down the street actually, and testing out sending some video from one computer to another computer on 2 different networks. And, it was less than a second lag at 1080p. Now, granted, I've got a pretty fast connection there. I've got a 1 gig connection with about 50 up and about a gig down. And I've got a lot of new Cisco gear thanks to TechSoup, but it's pretty awesome. And I'm excited to kind of dig into NDI, learn a little bit more about it, and tell you guys how it can benefit your church. So, what else are we going to look at? Well, in the coming episodes, I think we're going to take a look into WordPress. WordPress is the platform, the web development platform that we use to implement our website at TechMerge, not TechSoup. TechMerge.net. We also have done the FOLWC.com website using WordPress. We've done
Bowling AV there for a little bit. I had a side job where I did some DJing and stuff, but I think it's pretty well dead now. Too busy for it, so I'll let the domain go down. But we use WordPress there.
Yeah, I mean, WordPress is probably the largest web development tool out there. There's probably more WordPress websites than any other website design platform out there. And we're gonna dive into it, and we're gonna show you from the start to the end, step by step, how to build a website using WordPress for your church or your ministry. And I'm pretty excited about that.
Also, if you're just someone that likes to blog, WordPress is free. You can go on and make your own WordPress domain or your own WordPress user, and you can go on and just post blogs. I know, I have a pastor friend who his wife posts blogs all the time, and she I'm pretty sure she types them right on her phone and puts them right up there. And I mean, you know, she gets a pretty good following on that, and it's free. I mean, it's like if you're old or like even I remember this
like
Zynga.
me.
Remember Zynga?
Oh yeah.
It's like Zynga. Everybody went on there and just posted their feelings about whatever, and you can do the same on there. So it's pretty.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I mean the technology is inexpensive. Geez, I mean you can do it for a low cost. We've got somebody here next door, so if you hear some good singing going on, there's some folks doing some audio recording here in our facility. So that's pretty cool. But we're kind of jamming as we're talking. This is great. I mean, this has been fun. It's a learning curve. It's a technical nightmare to do, at least our first episode. But I think we're going to get better as time goes on. We had some technical difficulties at the last minute, and that's kind of why we were late for this episode. But I think you'll see better episodes here to come, and I'm just thankful that we had a chance to get this off. A couple things about TechMerge. I just want to share, our primary focus is putting Christ first. Our mission is the Great Commission, sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ to others around the world. And we believe that technology should be an asset. It shouldn't be a liability, but it should be an asset to your ministry, using technology to get the gospel out there to others. What platform, 20 years ago, could we have had to reach the entire globe by just a post? And we have that opportunity with Facebook now, and with live streaming video and YouTube and all of these tools and things. And it's not very expensive. I mean, you can stream for just a few $100s in your church and have a decent quality audio and video experience for your congregation.
Yeah, I know a small congregation. They recently started streaming with just an iPhone. And I mean, they're a small congregation, like this room, which you can't see the room, but it's probably the place they meet's like 15 by 20, probably less than 30 people, but they stream it out there and people watch it each week. And it's just awesome to see, just using an iPhone. Everybody has an iPhone. We have 2 iPhones here. I mean, it's just
definitely,
and you can stream and do what you want with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing how the technology has become more and more affordable, and we're just excited to kind of bring you information about the different technologies out there, how they work, how they can be implemented for your church. And that's really what we're all about. And I definitely don't want to leave the Lord out of what we're doing here, because he is really the reason why we're here tonight.
Yep. And, as always, though, we like technology and it costs a little bit of money. So if you'd like to support us on Patreon, there's a way to tip us on Patreon there. It's Patreon. I accidentally called it Patron. My bad. I called it Patron the other day and Tom laughed at me. But we're on Patreon and you can tip us there. We'll use that for buying technology and just being able to bring it to you, being able to show you some technology. I recently bought a gimbal, which I hope to demonstrate next time on the show.
That's pretty awesome.
And show you how to use that. So I'm excited about that. So next month, about the same time, probably a Tuesday. We don't know the date yet. We probably should have figured that out. We'll be hitting this again.
Sure.
Hopefully our crowd will grow. I think we've had about 4 or 5 people in and out. So hopefully you guys will share it. Let people know, especially if you're involved in ministry or maybe your church needs help with something. Get a hold of us.
Sure.
We probably can consult with you and help you get something done that you need done. We've been doing this a while. We know how to do some lighting, video, promotional things, just whatever you need done. We probably could help you. And if you just want advice, that's free. Get a hold of us.
Oh, absolutely. You can go to our website at techmerge.net and click on the comment or connect tab, contact us, and you can connect with us. You can list your question, and we will follow up with you. You can hit us on our email. Mine is tom@techmerge.net. Dave is Dave at techmerge.net, and simply just send us a message, and we'll follow up. And hey, we may even showcase your question on an upcoming show and answer it live on the podcast. That's pretty awesome. David was talking about Patreon. So Patreon is patreon.com/techmerge. Any tip, regardless of the amount, would be appreciated. We'll put it to good use to further technology, products that we can take a look at and learn more about. we're trying to figure this out, and we're going to be doing that over the next few weeks, and we'll probably do some tests, and you'll see some crazy stuff being posted here and there. But we're pretty excited to be here. And
just gotta hit space. Who knew?
Yeah,
Just had to hit
yeah,
space.
just got to hit space. And we're going to also dive into streaming tools. We're using Telestream Wirecast here. We're going to dive into how to use Telestream Wirecast. There's some other products out there that are similar.
There's some free stuff that people use to stream on
OBS.
Twitch all the time. OBS.
OBS.
Kind of a learning curve I've seen, but it's out there.
Yeah, so we'll take a dive into OBS. We'll probably look at vMix as well. Those are competitors to Wirecast, and kind of take a look. Well, actually, I'll just say it. We're going to do a matchup of all three of those. I'm speaking right now. We're going to take a look at all three of them, see which one is best, see which one does a better job. Just stay tuned. Come back for our next episode. We might not get to all of this our next episode, but in the coming episodes, we definitely will get to all of these things and more. So it's exciting to be here. Once again, my name was Tom Mullins.
I'm David Bowling.
And
I think we should pray it out. Let's pray it out. You want to pray it out?
let's pray it out.
All right, you want to do it? You want me to do it?
Go ahead.
All right. God, thank you for this opportunity to
Yes, Lord.
use our talents. We thank you for giving us this platform to be able to just show people some technology. God, we ask you to use our talents, God, to build your kingdom and just help other people further your kingdom in any way possible using technology. God, I thank you for the opportunity and the platform and just use it in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Outro ready. Republican.